Hello and welcome to the Hawaii Virtual College Fair. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Just a few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. And if your question is for a specific school, just make sure to name your school in your question so they know that it is for them. Your cameras and microphones are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. You just sit back, relax, and listen to this great information being presented over the next 45 minutes. This presentation is being recorded. It'll be available within about a week at the same website where you registered. And on the screen that I'm sharing right now, we are in session C1 on the bottom left. So that is the order of the 6 schools that will be presenting this afternoon during this session. Okay, I've gotten all the housekeeping stuff out of the way, so I will get out of the way and turn it over to our first representative from the University of the Pacific.
Yep, how's it going, everybody? My name is Keith Sampe, Senior Assistant Director of Admissions. Let me share this presentation real quick. All right, so University of the Pacific, UOP, we are a mid-sized institution. Really, where a lot of our strengths and weaknesses are going to come from is our size and the fact that we are a mid-sized institution. So, we talk a lot about the kind of fitting the best of both worlds, so to speak, in terms of, being a small school, having the small classroom size. We tend to identify ourselves a lot as a smaller institution. The interaction with faculty members, the campus community, all those types of things of a smaller residential campus. But we are a mid-sized institution, so we do have some advantages of a larger school. One of the things we talk about a lot is the fact that we are a 3-campus university. Stockton is our main campus. That's where the vast majority of our undergraduate programs are located. But we do have 2 other campuses, one up in Sacramento and one over in San Francisco. So for our undergrads, really giving you a footprint in those other major cities as resources to do things, internships, research, those types of things, and having the access to those other cities, in addition to Stockton, kind of really the heart of the Central Valley of California. What to study is another area that really we feel like we're in a pretty unique situation, and having a lot of different programs. For a school of about 3,500 undergraduate students to have, over 80 different programs in a lot of different areas, we are a very comprehensive university and doing things in a lot of different areas at a national level. So having, a strong business program, a strong engineering program, our pre-4 and pre-dent programs are very well known, a top tier music program, arts program. So really being able to do a lot of different things in a lot of different parts of campus is a luxury for a lot of our students. I think students that fit us well are driven in their area. They know what they want to do. They have, they're very involved in their space, but they also have other interests. So, to be that engineer or that pre-dent major, heavy in the sciences, doing your thing, doing the research, but then also being in the wind ensemble, or also being, being involved in the art program, taking art classes, doing multiple things in different parts of campus is a luxury for a lot of our students. So a lot of different programs out there. I know this list is pretty, the font gets pretty small when we're sharing these things. So definitely, let me know if you have questions about any of these specific programs. We don't have a ton of time to talk about stuff. So I'm gonna move on pretty quick, but definitely feel free to ask questions. One of the hallmarks for us, our academic experience is definitely gonna be experimental learning, getting your hands dirty, doing stuff. All of our programs are gonna have some pretty in-depth, real-life learning projects, outcomes involved, are built into them. Things like our engineering program, literally working full-time, getting paid full-time for 7 months before they graduate. Our business school has a $3 million investment fund that's specifically managed by undergrads, hosting a research conference, specifically an undergraduate research conference every year on campus. So the ability to do your own research, the ability to get it, to do the job before you graduate, all of those things are key parts of that experience. Student success is a massive part of what we're about, what our philosophy is, kind of from top to bottom. From the president all the way down to the groundskeepers. We talk a lot always about us being at the university, doing our job for you, for the students. So making whatever is in the best interest of students, helping students succeed is a big part of what our philosophy is. And that, kind of the combination of that culture, the hands-on learning, the faculty, the resources you have there really kind of translates into some pretty good career outcomes and whatnot. So throw that out there. Very residential campus, freshmen, sophomores all required to live on campus. So we're, a lot of very residential culture. College experience is going to be very residential, being involved, doing things, a lot of different clubs and organizations, Division I athletic program. So doing, having that college experience is definitely a big part of what that experience is. Financial aid is all available. ROI on the investment you make to attend a school like us is definitely there. We're very proud of that our alumni salary stats and stuff and rankings and things that come out pretty regularly there. And then the application itself, Common App, we have our own application, November 15th, January 15th. So those are definitely things to take a look at. Kind of basic website information, fall open house. We just finished the fall open house today, but we do have one more in November, and then we do have a virtual tour on the website, so that is there as well. Lastly, that is my contact information. I didn't want to take a snap up. You can ask me questions. I'll drop it in and answer it there as well. But definitely do not be shy about signing up for an appointment with me, calling me, emailing me, whatever. This whole pandemic is making me getting to you guys a lot harder than it normally is. So definitely feel free to reach out to me, and I will be happy to have a conversation with you, talk about your plans, talking about applying to the university and whatnot. So yeah, it was great talking to you guys. Thanks for stopping by.
Keith, thank you very much. And I will remind everyone, if you have questions, to make sure that you use the Q&A button to ask questions of any of our representatives tonight. And if you have a question for a specific school, name the school in your question. Up next, we'll hear from the representative from the University of San Diego.
Hello, everybody. Good to virtually meet you. I wish I could see your faces. I tend to do a lot better when the audience is in person, but as you know, things are a little different right now. So I'll show you just a few pictures of the University of San Diego and talk about what we represent, what we look for, and how you could envision your horizon with us. Before we jump to the next slide, I should formally introduce myself. My name is Austin. So I work for the Office of Undergraduate Admission as our admission communication supervisor. Pretty much just a very fancy way of saying that if you receive any typos in emails, that's my fault. So I apologize in advance, but I hope that you'll be able to see a bit about the Torero experience and know if you might fit within our culture, within the beautiful place of Southern California, which we find works really well for a lot of our students from Hawaii. I should also mention that I am a native Hawaiian, so my mother grew up on the Big Island, and my relatives live on Molokai as well. So it's wonderful to be here presenting with you all today. Here is the one and pretty much only slide I'm going to show you today. I wanted to center all of the information on one piece, one screen that you could potentially screenshot if you wish. I'll do a good pose just in case. And you should see a couple of important rankings and numbers here that might help you see if this could be a good fit for you. First of all, let's start in that blue column on the right side that we have 5,919 undergraduate students. So we are a mid-sized university. And what that means is you're going to have an average class size of 22 students. At USD, we don't have any classes that are bigger than 46. That is the largest class you'll ever be in. So if you're imagining a college experience where you're in a huge lecture hall, you raise your hand to ask a question and 200 people look at you, that's not the situation you'll find yourself in at USD. I know that I was looking for a smaller community where I would know my professor, sometimes by their first name. They would know me and be able to speak to my passions. And that's why a small to mid-sized university really aided my learning style and my success during and after my time in graduation. You'll also see that that student population is quite diverse. We have 48% of our students coming from outside of California. We have 47 of the 50 states represented, 60 countries. So I remember that even on my first day on campus, when I started working for the Office of Admission, I had to walk from the Office of Admission to the Human Resources Department. And it's a 4-minute walk because our campus is about 180 acres, about 200 acres. So you will be able to walk across in just about 15 minutes. But I was going from building to building. I walked 4 minutes across campus and I heard 4 conversations in 4 different languages. And I remember that being a moment for me when I thought, this is the sort of community and experience where I'll be able to brush shoulders, rub elbows with someone who is going to offer a different perspective than what I know, a different upbringing than I have. And I'm excited to hear those perspectives. So we're really looking for students who bring that openness, that humility, and are able to interact healthily in a community of very diverse students. You'll also see that about 10% of our students are international, 38% of our students identify as students of color, and 40% of our students identify as Catholic. In fact, in the picture on the right side, you'll see that tall steeple-looking building with a cross on top, as we are a Roman Catholic institution. So we were founded in the year 1949 by a woman named Mother Rosalie Clifton Hill. And she has the title Mother Hill because she was a part of the Society of the Sacred Heart, so an order within the Catholic Church. And she established USD upon three primary things: one being beauty, two being goodness, and three being truth. So she thought that beauty would attract people. And in fact, she was very right. You'll see in the top left, we are the 6th most beautiful campus in the nation. We're very honored to be a part of that by the Princeton Review. I will say 2 years ago, we were ranked #1, then we were #3, now we're #6. So I'm like, come on, y'all, we got to get together. But I'm so happy to be in the top 10. And honestly, that is just an respect given to Mother Hill. Again, we were founded upon beauty. And then she said truth. Truth would be communicated to our students. So through our learning opportunities, through the 42 different majors that we have, over 100 programs of study, ranging from philosophy to environmental and ocean sciences to Spanish or international business. We encourage you to look at how you can dive deep into your academics, knowing that you'll be inspired by this beauty and that you'll discover truth through your interaction with that curriculum, with your professors, and with those students around you. And then she said goodness. Goodness was that third thing she was founding USD upon. She believed that goodness would carry our students, hold them there, and carry them forward, and that they would make the world a better place because of their knowledge, because of their education. So you'll see that we're one of 45 changemaker campuses in the entire world. In the entire world, all right? So Ashoka is an organization that goes around and honors different campuses that are committed to 5 key things. Those are social justice, social innovation, sustainability, entrepreneurship, and giving students a global perspective. And about 8 years ago, we applied to be one of these changemaker campuses, and sure enough, we were given that honor. So you'll see those changemaker themes come through while you're at USD. Maybe it's the opportunity to be a part of our club known as Pancakes Serving Up Hope, where you will go downtown and grill up pancakes and distribute them to our homeless population. Maybe it's getting a global perspective through the border being 25 minutes south of us. The US-Mexico border is only 25 minutes south of USD's campus. And we want you to engage with our neighbors there, to learn about the world around you. And if Mexico isn't far enough, guess what? We're ranked #5 in the nation for our study abroad participation. You can go to 80 programs in 30 different countries. In fact, we have a USD campus in Madrid, Spain, where you can go and study for a semester, for a summer, or maybe you find a study abroad program that allows you to go over winter break for just 3 weeks. But ultimately, we're looking for change makers and know that these numbers only mean so much. So we're hoping that you can experience this virtually and see if USD might be the place for you. Thanks so much.
Austin, thank you very much. And if you have a question for Austin or for any of our presenters, please make sure to use the Q&A button. And if it is for a specific school, make sure to name the school in your question. Up next, we'll hear from the representative from Cal Poly University, San Luis Obispo.
Hi, my name is Terry Ann Matsuda from Cal Poly, and I'm here to share a little bit more about Cal Poly to you. But first, let me introduce myself and let you know that I am the Regional Admissions Manager for Hawaii. I'm actually based on Oahu, so if you ever need to reach out to me, there's my phone number, email, and if you want to schedule a meeting with me, definitely do so as well. I'll also post this, my contact information at the end of the session of the presentation in a bit. So Cal Poly is located in San Luis Obispo, which is halfway between San Francisco and LA. And we're on the Central Coast location. So you can actually get to the beach 10, 15 minutes away, great surfing, but you also have to bring a wetsuit if you're gonna be going surfing. We also, on the other side is the mountains. So right behind our campus, you can go hiking right off campus anytime you want. It's like being in Hawaii where the ocean is on one side and the mountains are the other. So it's a kind of nice place away from home. We're in a college town, so there's about 50,000 people that live in San Luis Obispo. half of them are students. We have about 21,000 students on our campus. So you can get a great sense of getting to know a lot of people and a lot of college-age students as well. We've been ranked best in the West for the Master's Public Level University in the last 26 years. So we're very proud of that ranking. I want to let you know about the ranking is because of our location and our teaching philosophy, the learn by doing. So you're actually going to be able to get hands-on experience from the very beginning, right when you start with us. You will apply to a specific major. We do accept students into that particular major, and you start taking your courses in that major starting your very first day. So we have 64 majors to choose from, and and with that comes the upside down blended curriculum, which I just mentioned. Our average class size is 32, so your professors, you'll get to know them, you'll get to know other classmates as well. So also when you're going to college, you want to have fun, right? You want to have a social life. So we have over 400 clubs and organizations for you to participate in and take advantage of. We have clubs based on almost every major, interest clubs, but I do want to tell you that we also have a Hawaii club, we have a ukulele club, and if you really love hummus, we do have a hummus club as well. We also have Division I sports, and we have students from Hawaii being recruited to some of those sports as well. Almost at least one every year, I'm gonna say. We do require our students to live on campus for their first year. So students are required to live on campus their very first year. After that, they have the option to move off campus or to continue on with our housing options. I'm gonna show you a video in a second, and it's gonna highlight our learn by doing philosophy, also about our campus life, and you'll be able to see some of the things in San Luis Obispo as well as in Cal Poly.
How you start each new day says a lot about you. At Cal Poly, we begin as we always have, by putting knowledge into action. We call it learn by doing. And for more than a century, we've made this idea the center of everything we do. We believe that experience is part of the curriculum. We don't see any difference between education and the real world. We know that it's the best way to learn and keep learning for the rest of our lives. So when we begin our day, we dive right in, head first and hands on, because we're not satisfied to sit on the sidelines of our own education, and we know that if we want to make an impact on our world tomorrow, we have to put in the work today. If at first we don't succeed, we rework, rearrange, reimagine, redesign, rethink, rebuild, and refuse to give up. Because our state, our nation, and our world need us to be ready from day one, to take what we learn by doing and use it to help build a brighter future. How you start each day says a lot about you. How you spend your day says even more about how you'll start your career and how you'll live your life. Because it's one thing to be ready one day, and it's quite another to be ready day one.
So that gave you a good snapshot and overview of Cal Poly. If you want to learn more, we are doing virtual campus tours, also specific college tours and housing tours as well. So you can definitely reach out and you can definitely take a look at that. Now for students who are seniors now, our application is open now. It will close on December 4th. And these are the things that we are looking for on your application. For fall 2021 applicants, I want to let you know that we are test blind, so we will not use any test scores to make a decision on your application. For other years moving forward, we are still in the process of making decisions on what our test requirements will be. I wanted to also share with you and stay connected. We are on social media. We have a YouTube channel. We have Instagram, as well as our Hawaii Club. If you want to check them out, they're at CP Hui O Hawaii. Here is my contact information again, so please feel free to give me a call or email or set up a one-on-one meeting. If you do have questions about your application or how to complete that, you can always reach out and schedule an appointment. Thank you for joining us today. And yeah.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Again, the reminder to everyone, if you have questions, use the Q&A button If it's for a specific school, make sure to name the school in your question so they know it is for them. Up next, the representative from Whitworth University.
Yes, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Greg Orwig, and I am the Vice President for Admissions and Financial Aid at Whitworth University, and also the lucky guy who's been able to partner with students and families from Hawaii for the last 9 years. If you have your smartphone with you and want to hover your camera over that QR code, that'll open up a form there. You can share some contact information with us where we can send you reminders about scholarships and app deadlines and other things. I always start a presentation like this with Whitworth's mission because it really is the foundation of everything we do inside the classroom and outside the classroom. And in a nutshell, what we're trying to do is lift up rigorous academic excellence and the integration of Christian faith and learning as complementary rather than competing goals. We have about 2,300 students at Whitworth, so on the smaller side, which means we have a very low student-faculty ratio. Nearly 90% of our classes have fewer than 30 students, so you're going to know your professors on a first-name basis, and more importantly, they're going to know you inside a class, outside a class. You will never be taught at Whitworth by a TA or a grad student because our professors are at Whitworth precisely because they want to get to know, teach, and mentor students. A few important success stats I want you to know, and I'll zero in on that middle one. 97% of our graduates finish in 4 years or less. We actually have a 4-year graduation guarantee that makes sure you can get to the finish line on time. And that's important for many reasons, including it means you avoid paying any extra tuition or other costs if you have to be delayed, if you're delayed an extra semester a year in completing your degree, and also delayed in entering the workforce. So that is increasingly common at larger public state universities, but very, very rare at Whitworth. And we are committed to partnering with you to get to the finish line on time. We have over 100 academic majors and minors. The most popular at Whitworth right now are psychology, health science, which is sort of the gateway for students who want to go on to PT, OT, pharmacy, nurse practitioner, that kind of thing. Then biology, business management, and education round out the top 5. Computer science, though, is fastest growing and just about to break into the top 5. No matter what you major in at Whitworth, you're guaranteed to get concrete resume building experience, whether that's study abroad, and over half of our graduates studied abroad at least once, research or internships, service learning, or different academic groups like our student PR agency, our student investment group that manages hundreds of thousands of dollars of the university's endowment, and many, many other opportunities in every academic area on campus. You're going to spend more time with peers than with your professors and more time outside of class than in class, which is why we spend a lot of intentional time and energy shaping the community and the culture and the environment on campus in ways that we believe help students to thrive. A lot of that happens through our residence life programs. We have 10 different residence halls, each with their own traditions and events and sort of personalities. We don't offer a Greek system, but I think we offer the best that sororities and fraternities have to offer without some of the baggage that sometimes come along with those. We have over 40 student clubs, including a very active Hawaiian club. We've tripled the number of Hawaii students in the last 10 years, so we have just over 100 at Whitworth now. We're an NCAA Division III school, which means we don't offer athletic scholarships, so we just pour those resources into our other forms of financial aid. We have 21 varsity sports, and we've had the most successful athletic program in the Northwest Conference 12 years in a row, so it's a great time to be a pirate. We are a Christian school, but our president often says he wants Whitworth to be the best Christian school for Christian and non-Christian students. So we want to meet you wherever you are in your faith journey, and there'll be lots of opportunities for students to explore faith, grow in their faith, and many of our students take advantage of those, but they're choosing to, not being required to, and we think that makes a huge difference. So we're going to challenge you to think hard about what you believe and why you believe it, but we're not going to tell you what to believe. We're in Spokane, Washington, second largest city in the state, and we are on the sunny, dry side of the state, not the rainy, cloudy side of the state. So we have 280 days of clear sunny weather a year, but sometimes that sun is shining on snow because we do have 4 distinct seasons, including cold, snowy winters. But in every one of those seasons, there are amazing opportunities for outdoor recreation, all within an hour of campus. So that is one of the best aspects of our location. I'm a big believer in visiting campuses that you're serious about. I put my money where my mouth is. So we offer a $1,000 visit scholarship for any senior who participates in one of our campus visit events or 2 or more virtual visit events. And we also offer travel grants to help students who need a little help to afford being able to travel to campus. Simple application process for you seniors. We have our own online app. We also accept the Common App, no fee or preference for either one. We've been test optional for 13 years, so you can check a box if you don't want your test score considered. And we do rolling admissions, so as soon as your application is complete, we'll give you an admissions decision in 3 weeks or less. Encourage you to apply by November 15. If you do that and submit your FAFSA, you'll be in the first round of students receiving financial aid offers in January. 100% of our students get financial aid, and the average this fall was $35,000. Great connecting with you.
Greg, thank you very much. I'll leave that up for a second while I remind everyone, as I've been doing, to use the Q&A to ask questions of any of our presenters. And if it's a question for a specific school, just name the school in your question so they know it is for them. Quick reminder of the order of our presentations for the rest of this session. So up next is the University of Puget Sound.
Good evening. Sharing my screen here. Aloha, good afternoon. I'm Robin Eigen, Director of Student Recruitment at University of Puget Sound, and I'm our admission counselor who is lucky enough to work with students from Hawaii. University of Puget Sound is a liberal arts college. In a nutshell, we educate the whole person. We talk a lot about inside and outside the classroom learning. Inside the classroom, we require students to really take a broad course of study. While of course this is an opportunity to explore interest, it's also really foundational to your Puget Sound education. Whether you major in music performance or biochemistry, we're going to teach you to think critically, to problem solve creatively, to write, argue, analyze, and communicate. Skills that we think are going to serve you well regardless of your major, the career you go into, and for the rest of your life. But we don't just want to develop you as a student. Your education is also about learning leadership. We want to graduate students who've really thought critically about their position in the world and their responsibility to their community. Engaged citizenship is a big deal for us. We're located in Tacoma, Washington, just 35 miles south of Seattle and 25 miles from Seattle-Tacoma International Airport. We're in a city, of course, but within an hour and a half of 2 different ski areas, 2 national parks, and multiple wilderness areas. So urban living with easy access to the outdoors brings a lot of folks to the Pacific Northwest, not just to Puget Sound. We're a national college. 80% of our students come from outside Washington, about 5% from Hawaii. In a typical year, they represent 45 to 47 states and 10 to 15 countries, so geographically quite diverse. For many of the students I've worked with from Hawaii over the years, being near to water is really important. If that's something that resonates with you, we've got you covered at Puget Sound. This is a picture of downtown, just 2 miles from campus, that illustrates that proximity to water and some of the museums, entertainment venues, cultural amenities that really make this city really special. I want to talk for a moment about our academic programs. For a school of our size and type, we offer more than you might expect. We have outstanding programs in our School of Music and School of Business at Puget Sound, both of which are uncommon at most liberal arts colleges. We offer neuroscience, bioethics, exercise science. We have full majors in Japanese, Chinese, and East Asian languages. We offer global development studies, environmental policy and decision-making, and international political economy. There's simply more here, I think, than most students expect to find at a traditional liberal arts college. And it's a really flexible curriculum designed to help you discover interests and talents you didn't know you had. As evidence, I would offer that over 30% of our students end up pursuing a double major. The vast majority of students who graduate from Puget Sound do so in 4 years. This is all built on a foundation of small classes, accessible professors. The average class size is only 17. And really very close advising and mentoring from professors over 4 years. We're a small school, relationships really matter here. At Puget Sound, we require students to live on campus for at least 2 years. Many students live on campus for all 4 years because we believe that what you do outside the classroom really is part of your education. Hands-on learning opportunities are really, really important to your experience here. Whether you're pursuing an internship, studying abroad, or engaging in community service, which the vast majority of our students all do for all 3 of those categories, whether you're participating in one of our performing arts ensembles, a student club, or an arts organization, if you're conducting original and independent research on a summer research grant, or serving as a research assistant for a professor, or participating in one of our 23 Division III varsity sports teams, Puget Sound offers a 24/7 inside and outside the classroom education that's really designed to prepare students not just for their first job out of college, but for a lifetime of learning, exploration, and leadership. The outcomes are strong. Acceptance rates to med school and law school are both nearly twice the national average. And we've recently been named both a top producer of Fulbright scholars as well as Peace Corps volunteers. If this education sounds interesting to you, I'd encourage you to apply if you're a senior. Until November 1st, you can use the early logger fee waiver and apply for free using the common application. When you apply to Puget Sound, you're automatically considered for academic merit scholarships that range up to $30,000 a year and are renewable. We've been test optional for 6 or 7 years now. This year we are basically test blind for all intents and purposes. The big difference for us from prior years is that whether or not you submit test scores, they will not be factored into financial aid review. So that's new and a big deal for us. And I'm here to help. If you have any questions about Puget Sound or the college search process, send me an email. Working with students is my favorite part of my job. Hope you have a great evening.
Robin, thank you very much. And again, one last time, I'll remind everyone, use the Q&A button to ask questions of any of our presenters for a specific school. Name the school in your question. Up next, the representative from Holy Names University.
Cool, thank you very much. Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Gabriel Cheng, and I am the enrollment counselor for Hawaii at Holy Names University. Let me go ahead and share my screen with you, and let's get started. So, as it says there, my name is Gabriel Cheng. I am actually an alumni of our school. I did graduate back in 2014. Originally, I am from Hawaii. I did graduate from Damien and came to Holy Names on an athletic scholarship. So if anyone has any questions during the Q&A time after this on my personal experience, please feel free to let me know. I'd be more than happy to answer. Holy Names University, who we are a very small private Catholic university up in Oakland, California. Specifically, we've been located within Oakland Hills since about 1868. So if you really want to get technical, we've been around for about 152 years this year. Being in Oakland, you're in a great location if you wanted to go and really discover about the different ethnic backgrounds, restaurants, and all the diverse populations we have in our city, as you'll be able to traffic, as well as you'll be able to hit up Berkeley, which is only about 15 and 20 minutes north of us. You the Bay Area and provide our students with great internship possibilities as well as great campus employment options too. Here's just somewhere it looks like. We currently sit on about and
Gabriel, real quick, sorry to interrupt. Your audio is cutting in and out very like.
Oh, I am so sorry.
The last 5 or 6 seconds. Just want to make sure you've got it.
What was the last thing you heard by chance?
It was only about 5 or 6 seconds ago, so maybe 1 or 2 sentences.
Okay, sounds good. Well, everyone, this is our campus map. Our campus map, so our campus is located on 60 wooded acres of land. Campus safety security company called Triumph Protection Service, where they staff are friends 24/7 as well as patrol 3 to 4 times a day as well. On their upper right-hand section of the campus, where you see the letters O, that is actually where all of our dormitories on campus, as well as most, if not all, of our classroom buildings are located on the bottom left-hand corner of campus, is located in the letters I and G. And that simple walk there would be about 5 to 10 minutes. So being able to come to a very small campus where you can take that quick 5 to 10 minute walks across campus without having to drive your car around and repark it is a great experience too. If you're looking for a small school, we are definitely that, as we currently only have about 960 students total. Being a very small school like this, we currently are ranked within the top 10 most ethnically diverse campuses in the western region of U.S. News. And also, to get in high school and be able to that over to your university career as well. Our average class sizes here are about 10 to 15 students. So you'll be able to get to know your teachers and allow them to get to know the exact way that you love to learn and be able to get to know the staff members and classmates just that much better. We currently do not have any impacted majors, and all of our majors, if you because you would all be coming from Hawaii like I did, you would be able to live in our dorms. We currently do not require students to live in our dorms if you don't want to. So if you have family members within the area they want to find also from out of state for multiple years. And go on together, dorm rooms, simply just have each other your application each that as well. You check all places, there are laundry rooms and all are for anybody that's under that. Students are required to have no time with our school. Here's a small majors. So I would highly suggest for everyone to take a quick snapshot picture on your phone or screen on your computer of all these majors. If you're the top 5 major nursing, the medical, vet, and dental fields, kinesiology to getting into the physical therapy field, business and education, with psychology and criminology coming in at very close seconds. Majors like business, psychology, nursing, and education all actually have their graduate degree that students transition straight to after finishing up their undergraduate programs as well. Campus first, only ones I'm really backbones on campus. They'll be every single help create your team. On campus. So after session, and those sessions will just our career services are great. They will actually help every campus employment well, aren't actually Division II schools. So if anyone is interested in playing sports at the NCAA level, please feel free to let me know. And then because it's running short on time, here is our finance right here. There's our website, and we are requiring transcripts. Financial scholarships available for students if you wish for you to receive as accepted. Here's my questions for a quick
and I'll leave that up for a few seconds here as we I ask the rest of our representatives who presented this afternoon to come back on camera and to turn on their microphones. And I will also remind everyone of the order of the presentation, because I'm going to do a little bit of a quick Q&A here with our reps to talk a little bit more about their schools, and also give time for any questions that come in the Q&A box, which you can still ask. Use Q&A box to ask questions, and if it's a question for a specific school, name the school in your question. But I'm going to do a little Q&A here very quickly, and we'll go in the order of the presentations as far as answering. And we've got about 4 minutes, so if we each if each of you does about 30 seconds at most, we should be fine on time. And the question I'm going to ask is a very fun and simple one, which is just your favorite campus tradition or school tradition. And we'll start with the University of the Pacific.
Yeah, one of our favorite ones for everybody on campus, we have a block party the week we get back to campus every fall. Normally, block off half of a parking lot. We get about 2/3 of our student body at this thing every year. So it's a great time for our new students to kind of meet the current students. It's kind of, you know, reunion back after the summer and everything, seeing everybody again. So that's a great time for us that weekend.
University of San Diego. How about you?
We have two that I'm thinking of. One is there's a big USD seal on the floor of Maher Hall, and rumor is that if you step on it, you won't graduate in 4 years. I don't think that's the truth, but everybody just walks really far away from it. The other one is that on finals week, they bring in a bunch of therapy dogs so you can sit on the grass and pet them and just cool down in a really stressful time.
That thing of stepping on sounds terrifying. So about Cal Poly.
So, okay, since you did two, I'm going to do two. So there is this called the Tri-Tip Challenge, where students will hike up 3 different trails in one day. And at the end, they'll go to a restaurant and order the Tri-Tip sandwich as a reward. And then the other one is we have a statue of, oh my gosh, I forgot what his name is. And he's a scientist, but I can't remember. I just had it on tip of my, Einstein, that's him. And people will go and rub him for good luck before a test.
And the superstitions abound everywhere. How about Whitworth?
Yes, so there's a tradition among students that you have to catch a virgin pine cone before you can graduate, which means you catch it as it's falling from the tree before it hits the ground. And we're campus 200 acres covered with pine trees, so you'd think it would be pretty easy, but there are many seniors on windy days who are out there just hoping and praying that it's a lucky day.
That's fun. University of Puget Sound.
I'll go with 2 real quick. One is what a lot of clubs and organizations do toward the end of the semester, which is jumping in Puget Sound, which is freezing cold. Along the old waterfront, we have a lot of piers, so it's quite a drop before you hit the icy cold water, but it's an exciting way to end the semester. And the second one will sound like pandering, but I promise there's a point. Like many of my colleagues here, we have a Hawaii club on our campus that does a luau each spring. This last March was actually supposed to be our 50th anniversary luau. So our Hawaii roots run deep. We've been doing this a long time, and it's a significant part of our spring family weekend on campus.
You gotta love a luau. And we'll finish up with holy names.
Yeah, I'd say one of my favorite traditions was actually when our students during Founders Day, they would actually be able to bake cakes and be able to eat them and provide and like give them out to the homeless community in Oakland with our sisters on campus too. So it's actually a pretty cool thing to do.
Awesome. Well, we have one, I think there's still a question in the Q&A. So while that question gets answered, I will thank all of our presenters for sharing that fun stuff about each of their schools and their fun school traditions and campus traditions. Also thank them for sharing the great information about each of their schools. And more importantly, I will thank you each for joining us. When you close this window from this session, there'll be a link to a very quick 4-question survey. We'd appreciate any feedback you can provide. In about a week, you'll be able to find this session's recording as well as all of the other session recordings at the same place that you registered for this session. Again, thank you all for joining us, and thank you to each of our representatives from our schools for presenting this afternoon. Have a great rest of your Saturday. Take care. Thank you again.